What's up, guys? So I got my cam taken apart and I just fixed the DESS issue. It was not an issue with the ignition exactly, or the computer or anything like that, or the key. It's the fact that this is really corroded in here. The connections that look disgusting. Just unplugging the connector and plugging it back in fixed it. Of course, I'm going to clean it up and grease it. But Can-Am did not even try to waterproof this ignition. I mean, there's not an O-ring. There never was. There's just nothing about it that's waterproof on this connector. So those connections are just exposed, and it's only a matter of time before that happens. Very, very lazy engineering. Honda would never do anything like that, even though Hondas aren't XMRs. This is an extreme mud racer, and it's got a connector that's totally unsealed. So when I tell you that Can-Ams are cheap crap, and everyone's like, oh, you're just biased. No, look, here's evidence. That connector looks like it's been underwater for 50 years, and it's on a 2-year-old, 3-year-old bike, so that's garbage. So some more criticism of this thing. It's got the exact same cooling capacity my 570L had. However, it has twice the horsepower and an extra 400 pounds of weight. How is the belt supposed to survive? Well, it's not. You can actually see where this gets pinched, where the plastic sits against it. That is not a lot of cooling capacity. The Highlifter edition has twice the belt cooling. Also, the belt exhaust comes up here, makes a loop, and goes all the way back down to there, where it blows on the exhaust. I don't know why companies are so obsessed with blowing belt exhaust onto engine exhaust, but I'm just gonna cut all this off and have it blow probably right down into here or something. I don't even know. It's just so many things are wrong with that. It's insane. Like, you know, the length of the pipe is proportional to the head loss you're gonna experience. So it's gonna reduce flow, obviously. Mind-blowingly stupid. That little pipe right there, that's your engine intake. That's all this 1000cc engine has to breathe through. Look how small this is, okay? That is pathetic. It's literally smaller than a stock Rubicon 500 intake on this 1000. I do not understand, like mathematically, thermodynamically, how they make 91 horsepower with that much air without like a supercharger forcing in there. I mean, that is a tiny, tiny fitting. And we're looking at the outer diameter. This is pretty thick. There's even a inner junction right here, so it's even more restricted than that. It blows my mind that this thing runs at all, much less makes any power, because it is such a small intake. And that's something I always say the Highlifter's better about. It's got way better belt cooling and way bigger intake for the engine. This radiator is also not relocated and it's full of mud because the tires throw mud right into the radiator. Genius. Just like how the tires throw mud right into the front output shaft seal. I wonder why the hell it's leaking. I'm not too worried about those things because when I do the 6-inch lift, the tires are going to get a little bit farther away and a lot farther down, so they won't be throwing as much mud into the back of the radiator and all that stuff. I did order a brand new $220 radiator from Can-Am because this one obviously was hit with a pressure washer, and I just can't have that nasty thing on my bike. Here's the fuse box mounted high and dry, but just look how cheap and crappy it's made. It looks worse than a Polaris wiring harness. All the vent lines are up here like this, which is very nice. I need to check all of them and make sure none of them are kinked, but they're pretty high quality lines. That's nice. And this snorkel thing is pretty nice. It's mounted on a little post, and you know, it seems like it's in there pretty good. And that it all comes apart very easy. I'm not sure what this switch is. I think that's aftermarket. Does anyone know what that switch is? But anyways, just by cleaning those connectors and or not even cleaning, just by unplugging and plugging the ignition, it fixed my DSS issue. So I did just order a new ignition switch, and I'll keep it in stock because it might come in handy. And I'm probably going to get some more keys programmed next time I go by the dealership. But I mean, DESS is just a stupid system, and then they made it even less reliable by not giving it a sealed connector. There's the computer. Hopefully that doesn't get water in it like my 570 did. That would be freaking terrible. You can see this little plug right here. That's where the exhaust from the belt blows onto the header if you don't have an XMR. But yep, just lovely, lovely, lovely Can-Am stuff. It's really sad that I had to get this because it's the only bike that's like a, you know, factory mud bike or whatever that has horsepower and good suspension. The Highlifter edition suspension is just so far behind this bike. Once I did the shock swap, it was close, but still not quite. Another interesting fact is that Can-Am does not publish the suspension travel on the XMR version. Don't know why. I'm going to calculate it at some point. Looks like it's got pretty decent travel, fully adjustable, threaded, clickers, yada, yada, yada. Nice shocks. This bike's pretty short and it's pretty wide and it's pretty heavy, but we're going to monsterize it one step at a time.